Hello and welcome to Strange Generations, a nightmarish journey through the shadows of America, one generation at a time. And this generation and this nightmare is the conclusion, part 3 of 3 of Hallowed Hollow 1929. We've been with these characters for, this will be the 6th episode we've spent with these characters. We saw them as wee little children, little innocents growing up in the first 3 in the 1890s. Now we're checking back on them as adults. They're definitely not as innocent anymore. They're all grown up and they're ready to fight some evil. And what an evil. We'll talk about what's going to happen in this episode entitled, What Is Not Dead Can Eternally Lie. Before things get too Lovecraftian, let's go ahead and meet the players and the characters. So let me know who you are, who you're playing, what their vibe is, and how they're feeling as they head out for the final showdown with some eldritch gods and a very evil human being. Starting with Nick.
Okay, so I'm Nick, and I'm once again playing Brian Kelly, the Irishman who probably, I'm realizing that he probably wouldn't have this much of an accent if he had been in this place, but whatever. He's going to have it anyways.
Choice. To me, it's a choice.
Yeah. But anyways, at the moment, he's just sort of dealing with the notion that his little brother is now once again in trouble, and he couldn't do anything about it, or at least he was away, and he's feeling a little guilty about that, since his whole deal was like, even now he feels responsible for him. So yeah, he's got that whole thing going for him.
Oh, definitely. And hey, not just your little brother, your niece, nephew, your sister-in-law, the whole family was captured.
Yep.
Also joining us is Marvin.
So hey, I'm Marvin, and today I'm going to be playing Isaac Vorman. He's I would say, eccentric World War I and veteran. And by eccentric, I mean he's kind of crazy at the moment. He is obsessed with, pursuing humanity as the true monsters, besides all the supernatural shit. And being it's the late 1920s, the true monsters, all the racist bullshit that's going on. But after he's been wounded, of course, he's currently nursing a shoulder wound. Isaac realizes it's not going to stop right here, even if we win today. And he's getting old. He's probably not going to survive much longer. So before the group heads on to the fish village, Isaac's going to send a letter to his estranged family in California, just to make plans for the future, in case he doesn't make it out of this.
Oh. This is kind of, I wasn't aware Isaac had a sister. Very interesting.
Estranged family.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, after his parents kind of abandoned him and moved west, they restarted their family, and then, yeah, like you were saying, had a sister. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, yeah, very cool. We are also very happy to be joined by Kat.
Hi, I'm Kat. I'm playing Desdemona Hartford, aka Desi. She's a, at this point, aging wealthy socialite. She's in her early 40s now. She doesn't really love coming back to this town. But if there's any place she likes going even less than her hometown, it's this great state of Maine. So she's not really looking forward to doing this and going up and seeing fish people, especially because the amenities in Maine for one in her situation, which is to say in a wheelchair, have never been great. Of course, there are very few places that are well adapted to people with wheelchairs at this moment. I mean, look at it now in 2020, and it's still not. Still a lot of places that aren't compliant. Any rate, And she's got, before she heads out, she does want to make a phone call down to the penthouse in New York to talk to her husband and children. I don't know if we want to play that out after this or just do it now. But
let's do it after the introduction. Yeah. And that will do like a quick, preparations for going to Rivermaw.
She isn't scared because she's just never scared, because she's seen a lot, and being afraid has never done her any good. Mm-hmm. Not that she ever has been. Mm. But she greets the possibility of death as a new adventure. And maybe she'll die today. Who knows?
Whoa. We will see. The thing about this game, Kids on Bikes, is the characters are totally mortal. So we'll see what happens. We are also joined by Dallas.
Hey everybody, I'm Dallas, and I'm playing John Rabbits, sometimes called Big Jack in his older age. Nearing 50, is getting the same feeling that Isaac was describing earlier, especially on the way to their destination with a gunshot wound in his leg and a little less pep in his step since he was a kid when he first experienced this stuff. Nothing in his life has been like an experience hanging out with the likes of these guys, but it seems even more serious than before, and the pain's even more real than before, and the answers just don't seem to be adding up. So his mind is just like running in circles, trying to figure out what's going on. All the while, you see this really just big 6'4" kind of mountain of a man, just quiet, like contemplating.
Fair time for that, I should say. All right, I'll read a little bit of introduction, a little bit of a recap, and then we'll begin your preparations for visiting Rivermaw. America, 1929. The Great Depression ravages all, a plague unleashed on the world. But as banks collapse and chaos surges, a darker, more ancient evil returns. Maggots in the corpse turning into flies. Eustace Gaines Daly, white supremacist, eugenicist, demagogue, and self-styled palatine of the paladins of the Pale Petunia, has hatched a dark scheme. Harness the powers of the alien eldritch god Abraxas and use it to spread more chaos, from which he will emerge as America's savior. Thankfully, a group of 4 unlikely heroes have emerged to stop him. They've halted his attempt to start a gang war in the city of Hallowed Hollow, stolen back the occult book he used to conjure his monsters, and even retrieved the artifact he needed to control the alien god, the Eye of Abraxas. But Daly struck back, kidnapping the loved ones of the heroes and taking them to his hidden base, Rivermaw, Maine. In this isolated, lost seaport inhabited by human-fish hybrids, the battle over the raising of a god from a cosmic grave will be fought. All right, so before you guys head to Rivermaw, you have a guide. His name is Zacharias Lake. He's a sea son, a fish man, and unfortunately, his wife and kids, his guppies, were also taken hostage by Daly, who has a decent amount of control of Rivermaw. So, you guys are heading there. Are there any, I would say Zacharias will give you some information about like where to go, who to see. But is there any preparation you want to do before you head over there? I know, I think Marvin and Kat wanted to do something, or Isaac and Desi.
Yeah.
Okay, let's check in with Isaac.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, like I mentioned in the introductions, Isaac's writing a letter to his estranged family back in California. His, sister that he found out a while ago even existed. And he also has another family. I would say, yeah. He has a wife, about 2 kids who do not want to see him anymore. Mostly because his pursuits have just, tired them. It's like, why are you always gone? You should be here with your family. But Isaac just always pursued his mission. That's never going to end. So he feels like this is his last chance to just make amends. Build some bridges in case he doesn't get back.
Whoa. Yeah, very intense moment there.
Mhm.
All right. Are you like giving him a telephone call or sending him a letter or a telegram?
A letter. Specifically, a letter to his sister because his wife probably wouldn't read anything he wants while he writes.
Ooh. Yeah, that hurts.
So better to send it through a third party,
Okay.
I don't know if I should roll. I don't know if I should roll a charm.
I don't think so. I think like when you burn those kinds of bridges with someone so close to you, no amount of charm is going to make them take you back. Okay. And then I think Desi wanted to make a phone call to New York to her husband.
Yes.
And that is David Hartford. We kind of
David's my son.
Oh,
Daniel's
David's your
my
son.
husband.
What's the husband's name?
Daniel.
Right. Almost got it. And he's like an ex-detective, I think we said.
Yes.
Yeah, kind of a Dashiell Hammett type.
Yes.
All right, so you ring him up. I'm sure you got a cool like penthouse somewhere on Fifth Avenue or something.
Indeed, I do. Hello, Daniel. I have good news and bad news.
What's the rumpus?
Well, the good news is that I'm going to be leaving Hallowed Hollow.
Uh-huh.
The bad news is I'm not heading back to New York right now. I have some business I need to take care of in Maine, if you can believe it. All the dreadful little backwater states.
Darling, if you weren't telling me with your own words, I wouldn't believe it.
I know. Well, it ends up that there's some occult business going on with some Abraxans. It's standard wanting to end the world kind of business. Honestly, I'd come down and fetch you if there was time to do so, darling, but I simply don't. So here's what I'm thinking. You want to take David and Daphne and maybe go to Paris for a little while, just in case the apocalypse does happen. At least you'll be further away from it for a bit, and nothing bad ever happens in Paris regardless. So
yeah, I've seen plenty of people writing that on their tombstone. You sure you don't want some help?
Well, I just don't think you can get up here in time. I mean, by the time you got to Hallowed Hollow, we'll already be neck deep in Abraxanites in Maine.
Suppose so. And from what I know, you're not the kind who needs help.
Well, I mean, even if I did need help, right now everybody that's possibly helping me either has a bullet or a knife stuck in them, so...
Sounds like you've been having a little bit of a rough homecoming there, darling.
Oh, well, it's always a bit rough. I mean, if you remember the last time, we had to, get Dilly off of the dragon, so... Not that she's sobered up in any conceivable way, I'm sure, and she's gotten herself captured yet again. Familial duties, I'll tell you. Yeah, I never have these kinds of problems with Bianca. You're lucky you're an only child, Daniel, that's all I'm saying.
I count my blessings every day.
Nevertheless, I don't know. Yeah, I think Paris might be a good idea. Oh, or you could check on the new place we purchased in Kyoto. That would be quite far away from everything, although that would require rather a lot of boat travel. I don't know.
Well, I'll charter a Zeppelin.
Well, be careful with those. They do have a tendency to explode, or so I've heard.
So I've heard. I'll be careful, and I want you to be as well.
Yes, indeed. I send you my love on angel wings, as always, Daniel.
Send me your love and a gin and tonic. I'll drink one for you.
Well, indeed, I shall.
Drink one for me.
I will do better. I will drink 3 for you.
I won't be outdone, you know.
I know you won't. That's why this amount of alcohol that I drink.
And don't I know it. Well, so long for now.
So long for now, darling. I'll see you soon.
They have a very Nick and Nora Charles kind of relationship, I think. Okay, so time is ticking. Are there any other preparations before you want to go to Rivermaw? I'll assume you're bringing a lot of tools with you, of course, so just let me know when you want to use them in the game.
Yeah.
But how are you getting there too? Because I remember there was like an aircraft being mentioned last time.
Yeah.
Well, we would get there faster if we took the aircraft, but
There aren't really
I
any
guess
runways, no runways in Rivermaw.
we have a massive dock.
But this doesn't need runways.
Ooh, the seaplane.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, awesome. As a big Porco Rosso fan, you know I love seaplanes. Okay, so you guys pile into the seaplane. Zacharias goes with you. Is there anything like super in particular you want to bring along or like get ready? I mean, I'm assuming the usual amount of weaponry and grenades are going
Sure.
with you, of course, but like,
What's-
I don't
what's
know.
good?
Any particular item that... Oh, actually, there's a very particular item, the Eye of Abraxas.
There are two particular items because there's also the Devil's Book.
Yes, in the book. Dally, at this point, I think he's not so much into the book. He's kind of, used it, though the book could be very useful, of course, and dangerous. But the deal, he said, was the hostages for the eye.
Well, here's what I'm thinking, Bride, because I'm going to just simply acknowledge the fact that even though you've not been putting your life at risk in the field, you do seem to have been doing quite a bit of research, possibly with your brother, and I will admit when my intellect has been vested in a tournament of wits. So perhaps while we're on the journey, you could look into the Devil's Book and see if there's maybe something we can do to avert this whole apocalypse-y thing happening.
Well, that's mighty fine of you to say, but and I think I can give it a look.
Well, don't let it go to your head. I can always shove you out of this airplane if you start boasting.
I'm sure you could.
Hey, Rabbits, does this plane of yours have guns?
In the back to the left, pull the left handle. Don't pull the right handle. It's marked clearly.
What happens if I pull the right?
The hatch opens.
Oh, shit.
It's marked.
I will remember that. But good, we might need to use this.
Okay,
And also I'm pulling that right lever at some point.
all right.
It's just too tempting.
So your seaplane zooms out. You buzz low through the sky. It's getting pretty foggy. Some rain coming in. Not the best flying weather, but you manage. Touchdown inside the bay, the docks, the waterfront of Rivermaw, which is this decaying, isolated main seaport, very much away from any big road or far from any big city. It's got, in the sort of Crescent Bay area, got a collection of some crumbling docks. Beyond that, a few neighborhoods clustered to the coast, all in various states of disrepair. Settles down, you get out. That bad sea smell, not the good salt smell, the kind of like rotten fish that's been left out in the sun kind of smell is everywhere. And Zacharias says, I think there's one stop we should make first. Someone who could help us or could harm us. It's Eleazar Finn. He's the Ichthian priest. I'll take you to the Pelagic Church. It's Sunday, so he'll be having his services there. I think Zacharias had a deeper voice. Anyway, you can maybe mention my name. But tread lightly. Zacharias doesn't like outsiders. So he's got no love for Dally, of course, but mostly he just wants this whole thing over with. like I said, doesn't like outsiders.
Oh, let's not be outsiders to him.
Can I ask a quick question? Out
Oh,
of
go
character?
ahead, Desi.
Did Brian find anything useful in the book as we were
Oh,
traveling?
right. Brian, why don't you give me a brains roll?
Starting off so well.
You get an adversity token. Let's see how bad you did.
You get to add 3 to your roll.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna make this difficulty level 6.
oh, well, I just barely made it with a 7.
Hey.
Cool. All right, cool. So you successfully, yeah. I mean, you've read enough on ancient languages. You've you've devoted your whole life to this kind of thing, so it's not too tricky. Yeah, you discover like the summoning of Abraxas, the bringing him into our dimension, requires a ritual. The eye is a part of it, but the eye is just like the final touch. A lot of it can be done without the eye. And to end it, terminate the ritual, it just can't be allowed to be completed.
Hmm.
So not really, it's not like a counter ritual. You just got to stop the ritual from going off.
All right then.
What would happen if the eye was sabotaged?
It could prove disruptive to the ritual, but I'm not sure. You bring the eye with you. You like brought the eye with you, which actually I should check in with that. Did you?
We had been planning on it, but Desi would be interested if she can mess it up in some way.
Okay. It's pretty like impenetrable. It's just like, it's this orb. It's got a glassy surface, maybe like kind of a billiards ball sort of thing. And I mean, you could try cracking it, shooting it, but it is not destructible. But how did you mean by like sabotage it?
Either give him a fake one, or alternately like do something to the eye to make it not work properly.
Well, the eye, it seems pretty opaque. It's a little hard to figure out how to do that.
I was thinking to drill a little hole in it and fill it with gunpowder.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Okay.
No earthly blade can pierce that thing's surface.
Okay.
You can try to make a fake one, though.
Oh, could we?
Mm-hmm.
Aren't any of us particularly skilled in that variety? Things?
I don't know if anybody is skilled at, like, artificing.
Well, I don't know what you would even roll.
Glass blowing? Yeah, give me a brains roll, I guess, but I don't know how you would do it.
Art forgery, that's like the skill level we're going for, right? Like art forgery.
Yeah, it's art. Yeah, I guess, but like from another dimension. I mean, I would say you got to do a 20 to pull it off.
Love the idea.
I mean, I feel like probably the only one of us that can have a brains roll that'll go that high without an exploding die is actually Brian.
Yeah, well, I could certainly try.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Brian, give it a roll
Go for it.
if you want. This one is not really a penalty to messing up, so it's like, why not?
Well, didn't get that 20.
Mm.
Oh, so it's that bad?
It's an 8 on the die.
Oh yeah. Give yourself an adversity token.
Good effort.
You are not able to make a convincing forgery. I mean, it will require like glass blowing, and like you just don't have that kind of stuff.
For giggles, I had Desi roll on it, and I already rolled a 10 on the die.
Yeah, unless
On
you have
my
like glass...
on my D10.
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Give another roll.
Oh, that didn't get me there. Oh well, I got up to a 15. It was
Okay.
better than his.
I mean, maybe like you spray paint a pool, a billiards ball. Wait, they didn't have spray paint back then.
It didn't.
You paint a
bet it
billiards
could paint.
ball the right kind of like greenish oil slick black, but
Yeah, you had to do it yourself back then. What are you talking about?
it won't stand up to any close scrutiny, but maybe from a distance.
Okay.
Certainly.
So does that count as an adversity token or no?
I would say no. I would say that's like a lower success.
Okay. So it's like a believable fake
From a
until
distance.
you get up close to it.
Yeah.
Well, at least I have a decoy eye. I mean, if he holds it in his hand and looks at it, he's going to know that it's malarkey.
Right.
We can still use it as a distraction.
Indeed.
Meanwhile, for this priest guy, I think, yeah, again, we should not be outsiders to him. We have the knowledge of what's going on here. Let's not be ignorant yokels coming in telling this priest what to do. Let's come from an avenue of understanding and see if we can help him, and in turn, he'll help us.
Well, I have to say that might be the wrong approach to take to somebody from Maine.
I've never been to Maine. Try to avoid it.
Well, the first thing you have to understand about them is if you come in showing too much knowledge and too much prowess, they're simply not going to trust you for that. Number two, you're not them, so they're instantly not going to trust you for that either. Then these are fish people from Maine on top of it, so they probably don't even trust regular Mainers. So I don't think the blending in thing is really going to happen for us.
Fair point. Okay.
Zachariah says, I'll do my best to make some introductions.
Does he tend to listen to reason? Because we could try and do that.
I think so. But you'll have to work at it.
Does he have any likes or anything we can bring in as maybe a gift?
Let's see.
Token of friendship?
Like stuff from the sea. Doesn't like stuff from the land. So probably not going to like you guys that much.
Well,
I lived fairly close to the sea.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna care about that.
well, my father
true.
was a captain, and I do swim rather a lot, so...
Also, probably won't care about that. As long as you don't got
Yes.
gills, he doesn't want to be your friend.
Fair point.
Well, I don't currently.
I'll try and make some introductions. Just, I don't know. Maybe let me do the talking.
Sure.
Does your
We'll-
priest happen
We'll
to
have to
have
hope. Oh,
Sorry,
go ahead,
sorry.
Isaac.
Does your priest happen to have any supernatural powers of the like?
Well, like all of us, he can stay underwater forever. He's got, these things. And he can commune with the deep. Sometimes there's spirits down there, gods, things that you in the surface world just don't know about. He can chat with. But can't exactly levitate, pull rabbits out of his hat, that kind of thing.
Well, there's very
Okay.
few who can do that.
Yeah. Okay. Follow me.
So he doesn't have any defenses against, say, a ghost talking to him.
That's fair.
Talking about the ghost, how's our ghost doing on charges?
Yeah.
Good question. He has 3 left.
3 left.
Yeah. Okay, so the Ichthian Church. In the center of this strange town, half ruined and given over to the sea, a stranger structure stands. The Ichthian Church, built in the shell of one of those white-walled steeple buildings that formed the core of so many New England settlements. But strange green, tentacular designs have been etched along the walls, stretching to the belfry, where a rusted ship's bell sits silent. Zacharias opens the double doors. Inside, a bizarre mix of the Christian and the oceanic. Stained glass, illuminated by spare autumn sunlight, shows scenes of jagged coral. The fishy residents in their Sunday best stare at you. At an altar, candles flicker in a giant shark's mouth. Eleazar Finn, the pelagic priest, is a plump, squat sea sun clad in a green cassock and a mitre of dark gold. He stares at you, massive mouth half open. "Why come you to disturb my service?" he croaks. And Zacharias says, Your Holiness, your fishiness, these are, they're going to help us. They can help take care of Dally and those paladins of his who set up shop, and then Finn just like holds up a hand. You can see the webbing in his fingers, and Zacharias goes silent, and Finn says, "I did not ask of you. I speak to the mammals. Why come you to Rivermaw?"
Oh, fantastic. So I can talk. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. First of all, pleasure to meet you, sir. I'm Desdemona Hartford.
I find little pleasure in conversing with mammals. But
Well,
go on.
Then I am likewise inclined. However, I think that you'll find me quite a bit more interesting than your average mammal. Personally, I find about 95% of your average mammals to be quite dreadfully dull. Whereas you have this fantastic church about you, which I'm very impressed by. Did you kill that stock yourself, sir?
It is a holy ornament of my order.
Well, it's quite gorgeous. Kudos to your order. Now, we are here on a very simple mission, which is to prevent the end of the world, something I've done 5 or 6 times now, which should be a fairly standard operation. Get in, stop the bad guy, get out. You'll barely notice that we're even here. However, you do know your town, you do know your people. You'll know the best way to get them hopefully to safety, or which ones of you would like to risk your lives in order to prevent a possible apocalypse, which we would be ever so grateful for if you could.
All right, I think you have to roll charm.
Sure.
I'm going to say a 15 or up.
Alrighty. Yeah, I didn't get that.
Is that adversity token worth?
I mean, I only have 1 adversity token. I can't spend it, but oh yeah, I rolled an 8.
Okay, so it would earn an adversity token. That's what
Yes.
I think so. Okay, yeah, you're fast talking, just not having the desired effect on him. He like stalks a little bit closer down the aisle, and he's like, "There is already an infestation of mammals in our town, and now you say that you have come to drive them out. It seems to me that there are more and more of you. We just wish to be left in peace."
Well, certainly. I did rescue your man here from certain death in a car, Zachariah.
He should not have left the sea. It is wrong that one of our kind should be so far from the waves.
Well, I'm sure that he regrets his mistake.
Zacharias is like, "Your Holiness, I didn't really have much of a choice." And then he just like, "Silence. Let the mammals speak."
So let me ask you something. Is there something that we could do for you to prove that we might be different than these other mammals that are occupying your place? And I do want to note that we don't plan to take up residence here. We simply want to extract the other mammal from your presence and make sure he harms as few of you as possible.
You can tell he's considering it. And he's like, "I understand you wish to earn my trust. But I find it hard to trust those who breathe only air." At this point, Ravitz, maybe you're kind of towards the back. You notice something. Speaking of the ghost, as we were talking about earlier, Darby has kind of floated down and is like sort of popping up right next to you.
Okay.
And you can tell something is wrong with him.
Like, Darby, you got something to say?
He's like, oh dear. I'm afraid he's, well, I suspect that your current enemy, he rather knew you were coming, doesn't he? He summoned you here.
Darby, as far as I know, they know way more than we always do. But do you mean the Abraxanites?
Yes, just the whole outfit that's against you. I think he might have set a trap, and I can feel the energy of a very familiar foe. In fact, who is in charge of Darby being afraid of the Earl King? Okay, yeah. So at this point, Desi, Darby is sensing the Earl King is close.
Well, that's simply ridiculous. We defeated the Elf King already. Are you sure? Yes, I'm quite sure. I can sense that he's around. I don't know. You've had false alarms before, Darby. No, this is different. He's here. Can't you hear his hounds?
And in fact, you guys all can kind of hear, especially you, Ryan. You can hear that baying echoing over the sound of the waves coming from the port. And the other sea sons and sea daughters in the church are like kind of staring around, and High Priest Eleazar is like, "What sort of mammalian sorcery is this?"
Ain't ours. Not even my mate.
Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
It's not even mammalian. This is something way worse. Something we've touched with before. I don't know if you know of this, but there's a creature known as the Earl King. Tends to not enjoy our kind. Your kind probably are safe under the seas, but no, this is an omen of ill.
Well, I wouldn't be so sure. Wait, why is he a pirate now? I wouldn't be so sure. The shark will feast on any kind of flesh. Maybe this Earl King's like that.
Well, the Earl King's entire habit up until now has only been to feed on one particular sort of flesh, which is one victim at a time, and then he tends to leave. So, I've been running from him enough. I might as well make it official. If the rest of you gentlemen want to take care of the current apocalypse problem, here is the eye. She says, handing the fake eye to Big Jack. And I'll go greet our old friend at the docks.
You sure you can take him on yourself?
Oh, no, I quite expect to die. But on the other hand, it is kind of my father's fault that he existed in the first place, or at least came back to this plane in the first place. So really, it's my responsibility more than it's the rest of yours.
Finn says, "Hold. I may have a way to banish this creature." And he reaches back, like, past that shark's mouth, and takes out his own strange book bound with some, like, fish scales. You mammals aren't the only ones who have magic.
Sure.
And as he says this, the stained glass above you guys shatters. And in the rain, you see several of those hounds kind of rushing down, and then the Earl King leaps out of the mist and jumps into the center of the church.
Whatever you're gonna do it now.
Yeah, he's like the same spindly, shadowy form, the long fingers, the narrow, like totally featureless, shadowy head, and those antlers coming off. And you can see Eleazar going through the book, zooming through it, and saying, like, "Please, mammals, hold him off. Give me time."
Will do. And I'm going to spend 2 adversity tokens for prepared. Because she's always been anticipating that the Earl King would come back into her life. And therefore,
Okay.
like, at some point in her travels, she has acquired a protection talisman. I'm not saying that it would be so much as to defeat the Earl King, but at least to slow him down for a little bit.
No, that makes total sense.
And she's going to wheel herself over into the direct path of harm.
Okay. Like, wield the arcane, but wrong game.
It is the wrong game.
Okay, give me a grit roll as he comes straight for you. Oh, well, first of all, what is this talisman? What do you think you acquired that can, like, stop him?
Well, he's a Germanic deity, correct?
Yeah, kind of like
So she,
Yeah.
in her times of traveling in Europe, she's been studying like the ancient religion of Germany that the Catholic Church stamped out very aggressively, and has been doing research into their sort of protective rituals to like stave off creatures of the night, as that probably used to be a pretty severe problem in the Black Forest.
Oh, sure. There's like witches with candy houses eating Hansels and Gretels all over there.
Right.
Real problem.
And she is skilled at the occult, so that should add to this role, because I don't think it's just knowledge rolls. I think it's anything, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So is the talisman is it like an ornament or like an amulet? What do you think it looks like?
Yeah, it's like a disc with like ancient Germanic writing on it that like holds off evil spirits.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead and give me a grit roll.
Okay. Let's try to not bomb it. That was not great.
Okay.
Let's see. It's a 6.
Okay. I would say a 6 just barely does it.
Okay.
You hoist up this this disc, and it's a little bit like a cross to a vampire.
Yeah.
The Earl King is kind of looks away and holds up its hands and is not advancing, but it's not being hurt.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. It's more to just hold it off long enough that whatever the fish guy's doing, he gets to finish doing.
Yeah, he's working through it. You can see him starting to utter the words. His gills are fluttering. What is Isaac doing?
All right, so those hounds are flying around, right?
Oh yeah.
So,
Right now, I would say the deep ones that are deep ones. Oh no, the estate of H.P. Lovecraft's going to come in. No,
Hey,
they're all public domain.
All that was public domain.
Yes.
it is.
But I'm still making them my own thing, just to be on the safe side. So Lovecraft purists can't accuse me of messing up their mythology. Go ahead, Isaac.
Yeah. Seeing as Isaac's still nursing that shoulder wound, he left the Springfield behind. Instead, he brought in a souvenir from his military service, a trench gun.
Whoa.
And he's just going to hang around the priest, making sure none of those hounds are able to reach him. Perhaps just blasting some in the face.
Whoa. This is a very cool Ghostbusters kind of thing. With, but way better because it's got a shotgun. Trench gun. Why don't you give me a fight roll?
Righto. Dice roller. And that's a 12. Straight up.
Yeah, that's very good. I was going to say maybe a 9 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just fire, work the pump, and are blasting these hounds. The shells don't do too much damage to them, but you can tell they're sort of dissipating and growing fainter, and they start fluttering away before they can reach the priest. He's almost done. I think the Earl King kind of twists away from the path of Desi, and is still trying to flank to come from the side. What is Brian doing to stop him here?
I would say that he's definitely studied so much on the Earl King that another tactic I think to sort of slow him down would be to sort of take the pistol that he brought with him with the cold iron bullets that he's created and just sort of just slow him down as much as possible. Go for the legs, all that fun stuff.
All right, you are doing this one-handed too, so it's going to be harder.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really support your aim.
It's true. Well, you sort of can. It's just harder. You can do this sort of bracing on the arm kind of a thing, but yeah.
Give me a fight roll.
Okay. Yeah, there's not really. It's a 6.
Okay. Maybe you slow him down a little bit, but he's still advancing. He's coming towards all of you. Okay, Big Jack. What do you do?
I'm looking around to see if this place possibly has a I doubt there'd be like a large statue in here, or not that kind of place. But is there possibly like a candle chandelier? If not, 'cause you said there was like stained glass window that you bursted through. If not, I'm looking for a large object that I can throw or swing at it. I do have Treasure Hunter, so I can spend one adversity to find a useful item if possible. But my big goal would be to drop something heavy on him. That's my big thing I'm trying to do.
Okay. I would say there's definitely candles. There's, it's like
Like a large is it candelabra? Is that the term? Where there are like several?
yeah, there's like a big sort of like candelabra on like a stick. Maybe there's two of them flanking the altar that are fully lit up for the ceremony.
Ooh, would they be the type that possibly has the large spikes to put the candles on instead of?
Yeah, those, the kind of like medieval looking sort. Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna try to grab that and maybe like run and maybe I'm not gonna run. What am I saying? I guess I just might try to throw it at him.
And shamble quickly his way while
Shamble
dragging
quickly his way because I'm not going to be moving fast. I got a shot leg, so I probably just got to throw it.
Yeah. Well, I think kind of a over the shoulder javelin thing. Let's see what happens. Give me a brawn roll.
All my might. Here we go. Come on. That's 11.
That's pretty good. Yeah, you hurl it. Again, fire. Earl King doesn't like fire. Smashes against him. The fire starts rearing up his sides. He's covered in the flame. And I think at this point,
can Darby do a thing?
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Desi.
Oh, Darby.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because now there's fire on him and I've got control fire.
Ooh. Yeah.
So it's going to turn from like some flames to like a total conflagration of flame.
Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and spend the energy token. This is gonna pretty much finish off the Earl King, I think.
Yeah, Darby's like, I'm not scared of you, and makes the fire get bigger.
Okay, the flame consumes the Earl King, just as the High Priest finishes his incantation. His gills flutter shut, and then the fire droops down, as if there was nothing there to begin with. Just turns to smoke. And when the smoke clears, the Earl King is gone. Eleazar looks at the remains and gives it like a little dismissive snort, and he's like, the magic of mammals. Pathetic.
Once again, that wasn't us, but okay.
No, I believe you. You wouldn't send a horrible shark demon against yourselves. That wouldn't make sense. It was sent by your enemy.
Aye.
And he sent this evil spirit into my church.
And he'll send several more evil spirits into your church as well if we don't stop him.
Then I will help you. I don't know if I can accompany you. I can swim very well. Perhaps I could guide you to where Dally has gone. Looks into the distance and he says, there are stories of sunken lands all over your mammal world. Your Atlantis, your Lemuria, Mu, I mean. There was one called Ease. And this land, a corruption of a land in our tongue, the lost city of Ease. It lies in these waters, and as of late, it has not lain there quietly. This was the city of Abraxas. Recently, it has risen up and returned to the surface. That is where Dally has sailed.
This doesn't surprise me now, does it?
If you can travel there over the water, even it will not be an easy voyage in this choppy weather. But if you can go there to the lost city, you'll find him.
Well, thank you, Heinlein.
Do you have any idea what this lost city is like? I know, redundant question, but we could use all the info we need.
We might have swam near it when it lay beneath the waves. But there are some places of the ocean that my kind do not venture. Fearful places, lost places, where only the crab and the shark hold dominion. Ease is one of these places. It belongs to Abraxas. Nothing with a mind that can think and reason should ever venture into that place.
Oh, then my sister must be relatively safe.
Well then.
So expect crabs, expect sharks,
And expect crazy people.
and crazy people.
Mostly expecting demons, honestly.
Demons as well.
Well,
Well, eldritch abominations.
the diving bell could get us there. The suits would last as long as someone can pump the air from above, but
Wait.
it's not an ideal situation.
Did you say that it actually like rose from the waves, or is it still underwater?
It has risen up from the waves.
Ah, okay.
So it
it's
recently
on the
like
sur-
came out of the water.
So it's on the surface.
So it's on the surface, yeah.
Could I ask you a question, priest?
Ask.
So this whole thing that your people have about being fish. Now, were you at some point cursed to be mammals and you fixed it for yourselves? How did that go about?
No, it's part of our breeding. When we are young, we look nearly human, and we stay near the land. That's in our guppy stage. Though, of course, we were always excellent swimmers. But in time, we change. When we are ready, we return to the depths. Now, at this point, I've spent as much of my life below the surface as above it. So I and some of my fellows could help you. We could swim over. The city of Ease is a cursed place. So I don't know if we'll venture that far in, but you did help us here, so we do owe you. Zachariah says, I've got to go with you. He's got my family.
Yes, obviously.
Well, I guess time's a wasting.
It just
Yes.
is.
Ain't no time but the present.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess he really needs that eye to get going, but he could start the ritual at any moment.
It's very true. The eye is sort of a not a necessity, but a nice thing to have.
Yeah, it's the piece de resistance, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, I guess it's been a pleasure.
We ain't dead yet. Saying that, Isaac's gonna attach. I think he's kept that silver knife I think Brian gave him last adventure. Yeah, he's gonna attach it to a shotgun as a bayonet.
Whoa.
Can't remember if it was silver or if it was cold iron that I gave you.
I'm
But
fairly
either way,
disappointed that I never really figured out the mystery of my father and all this. Guess he wasn't a fish person either.
doesn't seem like it.
No, but he's something. Oh well, fiddly-dee.
He's a man who likes power.
Yes, but he also lived to be well over 150 years old, which I've been told is not normal for a human being, so...
This day and age.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
yes, he wasn't exactly a Methuselah, but still.
It's possible that in his readings he found some magical way of extending his life.
Perhaps.
Okay, so you guys are heading back to the seaplane?
Yep.
All right. The weather is worsening a lot. Some stormy skies. Definitely see some lightning in the distance, so flying is probably out of the question. Rain's coming down. Some pretty big sheets. You can hear it rattling and pounding over the roof of your plane as you putter out.
Well, I guess we're
Lots
just
of
going
chop. Oh, go ahead, Desi.
said I guess we're just going to use this as a kind of boat today.
Yeah, lots of chop, but so any dramatic feats of seamanship will probably require a roll, but you are able to make your way over. You follow Eleazar's directions. You do have Zacharias in there, and then Eleazar and some of the other sea sons are like swimming along with you. If you look over, you can see their fins and their elbows
Okay.
breaking the surface every so often. Sometimes they'll do like cool dolphin style leaps out and do fun flips, and then splash their way in. And then after a little while, you start to reach the lost city of Ease. Before you reach the city, you spot hints of its existence. The odd tower rooftop jutting out and battered by the white-capped waves. They could be just any rocky outcroppings emerging at a lower tide. Then, you see the city itself, and you know that can't be true. Cyclopean architecture, all twisted columns and cubic stacks, rears out of the ocean. Seaweed drapes many of the buildings, and crabs clatter about the newly formed tide pools. Ocean spray falls upon fat sea stars plastered over the buildings, still draining from the ocean. The salt stench of it, a rot like kelp washed onto the shore, is a feast for the flies. Sickens you. There, near the place where the water meets the newly risen land, a snow-white yacht sits at anchor. The Crusader, it has to be. Oh, and the Crusader, I should have said earlier. Eleazar describes this. This is Dali's yacht. So, pretty decently sized pleasure craft. Right now, it's at anchor towards the shore of this risen sunken metropolis. And you do see, you see it from pretty far away. The mist makes visibility hard, but you do see there's some figures moving around on the deck, and they can probably see you as well. So what are you guys doing?
Well, at this point, it's all in, or we are going in for a nice talk.
Yeah, you can probably tell, as you get closer, you can see there are the hostages on the deck. So, Brian, I should have asked, how many, who are the kids that you think Connor and his wife have? Does he have, the usual two or one, or, a very huge family? What are you thinking?
I'd say he is still pretty practical with sort of, and growing up with hard times, he knows that it's harder to raise more than one or two kids. So he was smart about it, and had two at most. So,
You thinking a boy and a girl, or two boys, two girls? Okay, let's say a boy and a girl. Probably maybe 6 and 10 at this point.
Yeah, I would probably say that. Yeah.
That sort of age makes sense given the time here. Connor's a little younger than you.
Mm.
But anyway, yeah, you can make out, those two small figures, and then Connor and his wife kind of huddling together against the cold. Desi, you could see Delia, who was sort of lying on one of those deck chairs, looking a little strung out. From the distance, it's kind of collapsed there. And then Zacharias, his family, you got his mate and their kids kind of clustered together.
So how do we want to do this?
Well, I
Do we
suppose
want
I could
to-
be a... Sorry.
It's all right. Who wants to go with their plan first?
Go ahead.
All right. I had a plan of directing the fish folk into an amphibious assault on the yacht.
Zachariah says, wouldn't Dally figure out what's happening and like hurt the hostages as soon as he sees the sea suns coming up off the
Quite
side?
likely.
Well, here's what I'm hoping to add to that plan is for myself to be a bit of a distraction. Not terribly good at fighting, but I am terribly good at being distracting. So while I'm negotiating, I feel like that would be a fairly good opportunity for various other people to sneak aboard, to destroy things, to free hostages.
Yeah,
Okay, I hope you guys know what you're doing.
don't worry.
Oh, we never do.
We never do. Honestly, yeah, that's right. But we can fake that we know what we're doing. And you can fake it until you make it.
Mm-hmm. And
Words to
when
live
you're in
by.
doubt, throw a grenade.
Yep, that works too. Not on this yacht. We might kill some folks.
That might kill some people. And also possibly my sister.
Ooh.
Darby,
Yes, sir.
stay close. I feel the hostages are going to need your help very, very soon.
I'll give him the old 1-2, eh?
Do you still have your teleportation powers? How many can you move away with that?
It's really just for myself. I can carry maybe one person about my size with it. But it's not an easy thing to do.
Well. Okay.
Yeah. I think getting close to the hostages is still going to be a good idea, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've got the fake eye on me, and I've always got my wits about me, so, well, wish me luck. And she's gonna, like, roll her way towards the yacht.
Meanwhile, I'll direct the fish folk into what the plan is. Could I make that like a tactics roll or something?
Oh, I like that. Yeah, they like poke their heads out, and you can see their, their gills. They make maybe some fun dolphin clicks at you.
So,
Yeah, and I'll just point at them.
Isaac, are you going in the water?
Fuck it. Yeah, I'll dive in with them.
Okay, let's
Brian,
make it a brains roll because I like this tactics kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm skilled at
Yeah, with the tactics, yeah.
So I'll get a +3 with that. So D8 for me. 6 altogether.
Okay, I would say it's like not quite a success, but you definitely get him into position.
Okay.
Let's see how the rest of the plan goes forward.
So adversity token?
Ooh, okay, yeah, that'll make it a much more successful one.
No, I mean, do I get one?
Oh, no, because it was pretty close.
Okay. So partial success.
Yeah.
Sure. I would like to use my intuitive strength to ask you one question about my surroundings. How many are guarding the hostages / the surrounding yacht?
Okay. As you get closer, you can see there are 2 paladins, recognizable by their or actually at this point, they're not in public anymore. They have night those night helmets that cover them up. Night helmets that cover. They have those fancy night helmets like the visors. They sort of plopped on themselves. That's kind of the mask they wear to hide their identities when they do their crimes. So you got 2 of those goons on the boat, both armed with one is a rifle, one is a Thompson. Dally is currently below deck, but as you get closer, you can see him emerging onto the main deck.
So,
Yeah, because they definitely they're pointing out your seaplane as you buzz closer and have summoned him.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'll sort of relay that. Just be like, it seems like there's 2 guards at the hostages, and Dally is on his way up.
And I shall maintain my distance for as long as I can, because once he figures out that this eye isn't the real thing, he's going to be quite cross.
Well, do you need any of us to be with you?
No, it's perfectly fine. Don't worry about it.
Are you like kind of leaning out of the doorway of the plane?
Well, I'm gonna have. Oh wait, which one of us?
I was gonna ask. I was like, because if I pull up the plane as close as possible, they're gonna either have to lift her, or someone's gonna have to get her up there, right? I was just trying to go along with that.
Yeah, to be honest, like this whole time until very recently, I thought we had already landed. So.
Oh, well, I imagine like because you're not really flying because the weather was too bad. You were kind of
Yeah, we were kind of. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so I thought that we had just pulled up along shore, and her plane has a ramp that she can get out. You know,
right. Okay, that makes more sense to me. I thought you were like going to pull up alongside them and like call from the plane, but you're on the shore of the city.
Yeah, she was about to roll off of the ramp from the plane to get her ashore.
Okay.
That makes more sense.
Okay, all right.
Right, okay. So
if it was somebody else's plane, I'd say like, oh, that's a stretch, but this is her plane. It's set up for her, so.
Oh, no, I totally believe you have you got a ramp. That's
like I'd imagine like even her seat in the plane is probably just a thing that her wheelchair locks into.
Oh, totally. So you were like you're rolling down the beach, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can tell this was like some kind of strange street at one point. It's not that easy going. There's puddles everywhere. Some like dead fish didn't swim out of there in time, sea stars, sea urchins, that kind of thing. But you manage and you go right to the edge of their ship where they are floating. They have a few gangplanks that are down as well. And one of the paladins covers you with the rifle. And Dally,
what on earth do you think I'm going to do?
Dally appears next to him and he says, "My dear, you have proven yourself to be full of surprises."
Yes, well, that's what they say about the ladies in my family. We're full of surprises. I think that's probably a polite way of saying something else about the ladies in my family. And how are you today, Mr. Dally?
Oh, splendid. Just splendid.
Well,
now,
fantastic.
I trust you know who this is. And he kind of pulls the deck chair closer to him. Delia, you can see the other hostages do have their hands tied up in front of them.
Yes. Delia, darling, is this a double cross? Because I'll be much more impressed with you if it is.
It's not.
Are you sure?
Look, I was beating the gong around. Then, next thing I know, these guys waylay me in the alley after on my way back. I was weak as a kitten. They pulled me into a car, drove me away, and next thing I know, I'm here. It's a regular seaside nightmare.
Oh, I'm sure it is, Delia. But I want you to think about this for a second. If you joined their side, then that would possibly be unlimited power for you, and you could get revenge upon the whole family. Wouldn't that be lovely for you?
Are you playing some kind of mind game with me?
No, Delia. I'm just simply saying that if it was a strategic move on your part, I would applaud it.
I have no truck with this sort and their fucked up philosophy.
They do seem to have a rather strange philosophy about them. About the superiority of the white race, as if that's only one particular race. You really do need to be more specific about it. Is it just the Anglo-Saxons?
Dally's
Mr.
like,
Dally.
Yes.
Ah. So not the Germans, then. You wouldn't have any want to truck with the Germans or the Scandinavians, God forbid.
Well, the Nordic blood flows in the Anglo-Saxon. Look, you just need to read
Not on purpose if you read your history.
If you consider the skull shapes, you'll find a remarkable similarity. Ugh.
No, it's
You are-
true. Do you have a phrenologist skull on you at the moment? We could discuss phrenology. I wouldn't mind at all. Take a little break from this whole summoning ancient Mesopotamian demons and whatnot.
Well,
By the way, you
This-
do know that Abraxas isn't exactly a fan of the white race.
Abraxas is a means to an end.
Well, certainly, but I don't know if I would particularly want to summon up a thing that's going to cause the black race to take over the world. But I suppose if that's what you're intending to do, just have black people completely take over the planet, then I would summon Abraxas. I think jolly good there. Yes,
do
certainly
not
have the people
wish
of the
to
Mesopotamian bloodlines
bandy
take over the
words with some. Okay, I think you're gonna have to roll charm here to like fast talk him.
planet. Sure,
You're definitely getting on his nerves though.
sure. Well, it's all to be a distraction, isn't it? I've got a 17.
Oh yeah, he's definitely distracted. He's like
I mean, I'm just saying, have you really thought this through? You should really be summoning somebody like Thor if what you want to do is preserve the white race.
he's going like red in the face right now with rage.
I mean, it's not too late to change your mind before you decide to destroy all white people.
He takes his revolver and points it like at your back of your sister's head and is like, I will put her brains on the streets of this city if you do not hand over the eye and cease your prattling.
Oh, well, I suppose you should better do it then.
I think at this point, so you like reveal the fake eye?
She would be semi-revealing the fake eye, as in, like, it's a nervous tick because she's nervous about her sister. That she hasn't taken the eye out, but she's fiddling with it in her chair.
Okay, you can tell he's like, his eyes are on, he's like considering it.
Mhm.
He's maybe not quite buying it, but like as he's examining it, I think that's when Vorman and the deep one or the sea suns come out of the water on the other side of the yacht. Meanwhile, as they're like scaling the top, which I mean you're well, let's see, you do have a hurt shoulder. Isaac, give me a grit roll. Not too hard though. I would say unless you get a 4 or below, you're gonna do this.
Never say it's an easy roll, because that has happened before.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a 4 or below, you will have a lot of trouble with this.
Okay, I got an 8.
Yeah, so you don't have trouble with this. Despite the injury, you're able to like clamber your way up,
Grit through
go
the
over
pain.
the side of the deck, over the railing. Let's check in with Brian and Rapids, what they're doing, what the situation's going on. Brian?
See, that's the thing. I don't think obviously with my arm going into the water was a bad idea. So I guess I would be sort of like without knowing any other course, I'd sort of be like nearby Desi, but sort of not
Okay,
exactly.
so you're
Yeah.
posted up next to her on the shore.
Yeah, I'm just sort of standing there.
Okay. That's fair. What about Jack? What about Big Jack?
So, what is? I'm basically by the plane still. That's what I imagine, or I would have probably stayed. What's my line of sight to everybody else and people that are problematic? Like, I'm not sure how far away I exactly am.
Well, I would say, I mean, it's sort of up to you. The shore's a pretty straight line.
Okay.
So you could have parked, that's not the right word. You could have parked your seaplane as far or as close to it as you wanted to.
Gotcha.
Docked, landed.
Yeah.
Look, seaplanes, I don't know. If you're a seaplane, my uncle has actually flown seaplanes, so I should ask him. Do you dock a seaplane? Do you land a seaplane? What do? Do you park them?
Generally,
then
you
dock.
dock one. Because if you tried to land it, you'd rip the pontoons off of it.
Yeah, I think dock is the right word.
We docked it. I guess I am. I am pulling the left lever then, and releasing the cannons, as I like to call them. They're 30 caliber. So,
Whoa.
yeah, and I'm just gonna maybe fire some rounds to tear up the sort of street or walkway a little bit. But other than that, I'm just trying to make people hit the deck.
Okay. Do you think you fire before or after the Isaac and his fishy friends reach
after,
the top?
For sure.
Okay.
I thought we were like getting into it, so that's why I was like, I'm going to do that. But
Yeah, I think we're just about to.
Okay.
I'll have you roll in just a second. I think Desi wants to do something real quick.
I have a question about Darby.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Darby is currently insubstantial with the real eye. We never discussed how it was happening with the real eye, but
oh yes, you're right.
I feel like the safest place for it is Darby in their pocket dimension where they live when they're not interacting with the world.
Yeah, that's true. He puts it like in his coat there.
Yeah.
A bit big, but he can fit it in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so Isaac, you and the other Sea Sons come over the railing. The other paladin with the Thompson, who was not sort of facing the shore, notices you. Well, what do you do?
What's my distance to him?
I mean, you can kind of choose how far, because he was like just on the edge, and you were coming right up the side. So if you can be like right below him or like farther away.
Oh, can I pull him over the railing and just drop him down?
Ooh, okay. Give me a brawn roll.
Righto. And brawn, that's a D12 for me. Ooh, I got a 12, so that explodes.
Ooh, okay. Go ahead and roll again.
And a 6 for a total of 18.
Okay. So you get like a windfall, a benefit.
Mm-hmm.
I would say like you grab him by his lapels and hurl him down. You like ram his head into the railing. He goes over the side and he drops the Thompson.
Nice.
Which falls. So you can now use his gun, which falls next to you. Some of the hostages maybe Brian's like niece and nephew and like spot you and go like, oh, at all of these, and then they see all these other fish monsters coming up.
I just go to them. Shh. And I go to free the hostages while making sure the area is secured.
Okay. I think the other paladin starts to spin around because they probably heard the splash. Let's have the 30 caliber go off at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Before the 30 caliber goes off, because I'm guessing this might be something that Desi and Big Jack have done before. Can Desi say one thing before the explosion hits?
Oh, yes, please.
Like sort of between when she hears the distinctive sound of it being fired and when the explosion happens, she says, "Are you familiar with the 1812 overture?" That's when the explosion would happen.
He just goes like, "What?"
And I'm sure you probably give some kind of hand signal, like it starts like.
Yeah, that's great. It starts like.
Ooh, the classic.
Bump. Yeah, Yep. And that's your cue, Des, to do what you need to do for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Big Jack, let's have you roll fight.
Fight. All right, let's do this. That could have been better. That's a 3. That could have been better.
All right. Unfortunately, let's see. Give yourself an adversity token.
All right.
Is that a 3 altogether?
Wait. If I spend, can I know I said it afterwards. Can I spend? I do have something to spend. Is that possible?
Yeah.
Not the new one.
5. It's going to be a little better.
Okay. Yeah, because I had 3 that I could put down if possible to make that a 6.
Okay. Yeah, you can make it a 6.
Okay. All right. Cool. I'll still call it like.
I think that doesn't kill anybody.
Okay.
It does the rifleman drops down. I'm gonna say Dally, realizing what's going on, goes to the railing and like leaps off, jumps down into like onto the shore, and that's where he lands. And then the other paladin, who was like, he was able to avoid the firing but didn't make him drop down, he starts coming up with his rifle and he's aiming at I think he would definitely think Isaac's the bigger threat, so he's spinning around. Brian, what are you doing while this is going on?
I would say I sort of has he already jumped down, or is it sort of like, could I, like, as he's like just about to jump down, like take a couple of shots at him, see if I can like slow him down, or like
Yeah,
take
you
him
can
down?
try.
Yeah.
It's going to be kind of tricky. He is a moving target, and you do have the wounded arm. But go ahead and try. You could certainly wing him and hurt him.
Okay.
Or hit him.
It's an 8.
Ooh, yeah, I would say that does some pretty good amount of damage to him. Oh, okay. So as the explosion's going on, let's check. I think Desi wanted to add something to it too.
Yeah, because this is when she was gonna use the decoy eye. That was what I was trying to set up, was for the explosion to happen and that rattles loose the decoy eye and it goes rolling off into the water.
Oh, okay, to make him try and dive for it?
Yes.
Ooh, all right. So
that was the whole setup for what she was doing, and then I didn't get to say it. And I was like, say
okay.
the thing
Well,
she was doing.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, he jumps off, he sees that eye going into the water, like, glittering as it starts to float down. And he's like, the eye of Abraxas. He starts running towards it. Brian's pistol goes off, blasts him in the ribs. And he is like sort of stumbling along. He reaches over and drops down. And he's like lying there and fishing for it in the water. Let's check back with the rifleman, the surviving paladin, and Isaac. Because now he's got the rifle. He's already worked the bolts. He's going to take a shot at Isaac. So let's see if Isaac can. Isaac, what do you do?
Do I have cover anywhere?
Not really. There's a lot of screaming hostages. There's some fish people. It's definitely a bad situation.
Okay. So, has he got the gun loaded?
Yeah. He's working the bolt and like aiming at you.
Working the bolt. So, I guess my only course, and I can't really bluff them because these are fanatics. I'm gonna dive for that Tommy gun the other guy dropped. And hopefully I can shoot first.
Oh man. Okay, Isaac, go ahead and roll. This is an intense action scene. Go ahead and roll fights.
Righto. That's an 8.
I would say you like really hurt him. He's not quite taken down.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of go into a combat roll, grab the Tommy gun, unload on him. Those big, like fat 45 caliber Tommy gun slugs just. Is it 45 caliber? I don't know. If you're a Thompson, oh, okay. I'm getting some nods here.
Yeah, that's 45 ACPs. They're no joke.
Yeah, I just know. All I know is the Thompson has like big, really big, horrible bullets, making it a very impressive, nasty weapon. Yeah, they like rip into him. He's not totally dead, but he's getting there. He does stumble back. He hits the railing. I think he is going to get a shot off at you. Go ahead and roll grits.
Okay. And it explodes.
Oh man, go ahead and roll again. Give me the total.
And I rolled a 1. So 11. No, wait.
Okay.
I get a
No,
plus
that's
1
good.
to 12.
I think, were you wearing a hat?
Well, yeah, I would assume it's the 20s, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Gotta
even when
have
you
a
were doing some
fedora.
swimming, you kept the hat on. Unfortunately, the bullet does tear apart your hat.
Son of a- I'm just going to go up to him and whack him with the hat. It's like, Mister, my favorite.
You are whacking a corpse, but
The principle of the matter. Here, keep the hat. All right, boys. Let's free the hostages. Make sure everyone's all right.
all right. The Sea Sons take care of that. Zacharias runs over to his husband and the Guppies. They get a nice embrace there, and then, of course, Professor Connor, Professor Connor. What am I
Professor
saying?
Kelly.
Professor Kelly, using his last name, and his family all like huddle together. They start making their way down. They join you, Brian, on the shore. And as you guys look back, you see Dally has disappeared.
How did he disappear from me? I was looking straight at him.
Oh, okay. He like goes into the water. He gets it, and he goes like under the water.
Oh, okay. Because I was planning to shoot him while he was digging for it.
Why don't you go ahead and give me a roll for that?
Okay.
Because something weird might happen.
Okay. Because she was going to say to him also in Hebrew, she was going to say, "They shall know that I am the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon them."
Ooh, that is badass. But he is
Yeah.
under the water, so he couldn't really hear you with that.
Yeah.
You can still
That's
say
when
it, of course.
That's when he was digging for it, though. So,
I figure he like dove under to try and get it.
oh, okay. Gotcha.
Give me a shooting roll.
Sure.
I mean, maybe he's like half submerged. He probably could still hear it.
Okay. Well, it's only a 5.
Okay.
What you were describing, like in my head, was a totally different thing than what you were thinking. So I thought he was like on, like reaching his hand into the water, and most of him was still up on the ground.
Right. No, he's getting more submerged.
Gotcha.
So you shoot at him, and
Yeah.
he starts like going down, and you see his outline swimming to the side. And yeah, something weird is happening. He's not coming up for air, like at all.
Hmm.
And he should be.
I would
You see
assume
him-
this.
Going down like one of the sort of canals that is split through the city and swimming his way further inside.
It's not
Would
like
have
he's
thought
got the correct eye anyway.
Would have thought he'd be swimming with the fishes, but they're all up here. What's he doing?
I don't know. Doesn't he need the eye to complete his ceremony?
It's not completely necessary. It's just something that, like, it makes it easier, I think, from what I read.
Or at least to make it so that he can control the thing that he summons?
That was what it was. Yes, that's now I'm remembering.
Professor
So-
Kelly says, "I'm afraid so. If he starts the ceremony now, without the eye, he could still summon Abraxas. He just won't be able to control it."
That's
That's
still
never a good
something.
sign. Either way, we have to stop the ceremony.
We gotta stop him before he reaches whatever he's reaching.
How are we supposed to get down there?
I mean, we could follow
Well-
the canal.
You can go through, but I think he points, and Professor Kelly points, like, I'm no expert in this kind of architecture. It's like some bizarre mixture of a dozen different cultures fed through some, what's the word? German what am I thinking of? Not natural realism. Like you're like Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, German expressionism.
Expressionism?
Yes, that's it. It's like a dozen different cultures filtered through German expressionism of some sort. But I think there's some sort of central temple complex in the middle of the island. That's where he'll go.
This makes sense, little
That's where
brother.
this will have to end.
Well, is the yacht clear now of all the racists?
Zacharias breaks away from his family and checks down, and he pokes up and he's like, "All dead.
Good.
Yacht is clear."
Well
We should
done.
probably take the yacht back to shore.
All right, we'll guide it there safely.
Right.
And Delia is like, goes over to the railing, still a bit shaky, and she looks down at you. And she's like, Desi, look, it ain't exactly easy for me to say it, but thanks.
Well, you're welcome, little sister. I try my best sometimes to look out for you, kind of.
Well, this time, I sure as hell appreciate it.
Well, you're welcome. Maybe if you can clean your life up a little bit, Bianca might be able to get you back into the family.
We'll talk about it when you get back.
Oh, yes, that. If I don't come back, simply talk to Bianca about it.
I've always preferred you to her. Please come back.
That's fine, sister. Good luck. And don't take it too personally that I was building up that I hate you. It's just easier to negotiate it with the terrorists when they think you don't care about the hostages.
She gives you a big smile, and she's like, I didn't believe that for a second.
Well,
Okay.
little brother, you might want to leave with the fish people. Don't want you in the...
He's like,
Your
well, I'll put
family, I
Ethel
think,
and the
needs
kids
you.
on there for certain. Are you sure, Brian?
I mean, as much as we've studied, there's only so much studying you can do before that doesn't require the action that I've taken.
He's like, I'll tell you what. I'll wait here on the shore for you.
You sure?
You've
little
always
brother?
been there to look after me, and I want to do the same for you.
Well, I think you need to worry about your family more than below me.
You're gonna have to roll a charm here, because he doesn't want to stay, or at least on the shore, if not go with you. Little brothers, am I right?
5. So
He's
close
like,
to explosion.
he's like, I'll be here on the shore just in case.
All right.
Can I have Desi do a thing really quickly, if you don't mind?
Sure.
She wheels around her chair angrily and goes, Look, Connor, you're not going to be saving anybody if you're standing on this shore. You're just going to get in our way when we're trying to retreat. Now, I appreciate that you've been trying to do this whole heroic thing your whole life, but you've never been particularly good at it, and you're not going to change now. So why don't you go, protect your family, and stop getting in our bloody way?
Ooh. Okay, I don't think you have to roll for that.
Always
I think
knew
you'll
this
listen.
too when must.
He like takes one final look at you guys, and he's like, "You've come a long way since boarding school, then. All right, I'll go. I suppose that we've all got our parts to play, and mine is with Ethel and the children.
That it is. You got a new family to look after.
I'll be waiting for you in the city. At the
Yeah, I'll see
docks
you
in
there.
Rivermont. Come back."
Certainly try. No guarantees, though.
Okay. You guys start walking over. Darby, I think, appears next to you as you approach this big temple complex. Sort of like a step pyramid, a ziggurat leading its way to a top canopy area facing the sky. And Darby is like floating with you guys, and he's like, "Fellas, I won't lie, I'm awfully scared."
Well, Darby, once you get me to the top of all of these horrid steps, I think it would probably be best for you to leave as well.
Maybe. But I'd rather stick around. You might need old Darby to help you.
Okay. Just make sure that that horrible racist gentleman never gets the eye.
Oh, I'll make sure.
And don't worry, being scared's natural. Anyone who says they're not scared when going into battle is a damn idiot.
Couldn't agree more.
Oh, by the way, sorry I had to yell at Connor like that. It's just... I know he wants to be heroic, I do. But he isn't.
Hey, he's had me to look after him for so long. I think he feels guilty. But
Oh, and just so the lot of you know, if it does come down to one of us dying, do please let it be me.
Why do you have so much of a death wish, Dusty?
Oh, because I'll be dead within 2 years anyways. And honestly, dying this way will be a lot better than dying the way that I'm going to die.
Oh,
it's a fair point.
makes sense. All right. Didn't know you were dying in 2 years.
Well, I don't like to make a big deal of it. Don't want to be one of those people swanning around moaning about their impending doom all the time.
It's probably a better way to think of it.
Wow, we're getting some kind of like interesting character reveal. Some happy, some grim in this last episode. Oh, and there is
not
like
unhappy about it. It's just it is what it is, you know.
and there is like
saving
a
that reveal for this episode.
yeah, no, it's a big one. Definitely an anvil dropping. Or bomb exploding. I can feel it. There is like a slope that goes along the side too, so it is accessible.
Oh, okay.
All right. So you guys head up, and like you also see climbing along the other side, on his belly, like with his fingers pulling up, is Dally. Dally stumbles or crawls up to the top of the pyramid in this long sunken city. Breath slips from between his teeth in a rasp. He stretches out his hands, the greenish black Abraxas oil emerging from his fingernails. Hail, Abraxas, he manages. Up above, the stormy sky clears. A mountain looms. At one moment, a giant shadowy cloud. Another, a giant geometric rectangle of green banded obsidian. Then a swirling dodecahedron of glistening diamonds. Looking at it makes you want to close your eyes or scream. Hail, Abraxas, Dally cries. And he's like reaching up, and you can see the Abraxas substance that is inside of him is like bursting out, like it's running down his eyes, it's coming out of his mouth, emerging from his fingernails, it's bursting out of his pores, and tendrils of it are like clambering their way up and reaching towards the heavens.
Brian.
And this weird changing, this ever-changing abstract shape that is Abraxas is kind of like reaching down towards him to build this bridge.
Brian,
Hi.
if you had the eye, do you think you could control this?
It's a possibility.
Dobby, I think now might be a good time to hand Brian the eye.
Very good. This is the biggest marble I've ever played for. And he conjures it to his hands and drops it into your hands, Brian. As he does this, Dally's head turns around, probably does the classic Exorcist like 180. It's going like all the way back.
Mhm.
And his eyes, which are just glowing oil slick Abraxas eyes, fix on it.
Yeah.
And he just he mouths with a tongue that is losing its humanity. Hail, Abraxas, and like starts twisting around and coming towards you.
Could I, using the book, like find like the ritual in order to control the ritual and sort of use, as well as the eye, to...
You can, but like he's gonna be on you in a moment, so you're gonna need a friend to hold him off.
Yeah,
Sure.
Desi's on it.
Okay. Let's have Brian roll a brains roll, and then Desi and who's ever helping roll whatever they're doing. So Brian, go ahead and roll brains to use the book.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good.
That's pretty good.
Would that add the skill dat as well?
Yes, I would think so, because it's a cult.
Sick. So with the +3 and the +1 from being an adult, that's a 21.
Hey.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah, you find the right thing. you think there's a way that you can use the eye to control Abraxas and make Abraxas go away. You just need some time. Desi, you got this weird Dally's coming towards you.
Yep, she's got her like medallion of protection out again. Might not work on Abraxas, but that's what she's got on her. She can't keep pulling rabbits out of her hat all day, you know. And she wheels herself between where Dally and Brian and puts the lock on her wheelchair.
Okay.
And says, just so you know, I am half Jewish.
Whoa. It definitely gives him some pause. But he gets like, he moves on to you and starts like grabbing your he like kind of grabs your hand and starts twisting it around. And you hear his voice, like it's sort of Dally's voice, but you know, echoing and bubbly. And he's like, "You're a broken bird. And when I saw you, I knew I wanted to break you more."
Oh, darling, don't promise a good time to me.
He starts lunging down, his mouth like extending with the Abraxas goo coming out. Let's see what Isaac and then Big Jack are doing.
Hey, Big Jack, how are you wielding a shotgun?
Point and shoot as far as I remember.
All right. And Isaac's going to hand you the shotgun.
Okay.
Unless you had something else in mind. I got plenty of guns, is what I mean.
By all means, go for it.
All right. And with the shotgun given, Isaac's just going to unload on Dally over here. Empty that Thompson machine gun directly into his face if he can.
Whoa. Okay. Give me a fight roll. I mean, it's not hard. You just like shove the muzzle right up to him and pull the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't really miss at that range. But give me a fight, just unless you get a 1 and the gun jams.
I got an 8.
Okay, that's all you need. You put the gun right up to him and just like unload. His head is just torn to shreds. Bits of skull are going everywhere. I think the body does like flip back and fall down. But the Abraxas goo in him is still keeping it going. So as it's like quivering and going into his death, what's the word? Rigor mortis kind of things. It's like, you know,
Death
shuddering
throes or something.
Yeah, death
throes.
throes. That's it. Yeah, and it's like something else inside the body is like stiffening, pulling it up, and
Nice.
it's trying to stand up again. Yeah.
And
This is
also,
ut-
sorry.
It's utterly horrifying, but Desi does look at Isaac and goes like, "So promise delivered on my part?"
I would say so. Indubitably. So I still remembered my schooling.
Always good to use those vocabulary words.
I guess
All right.
Isaac, since he doesn't have any ammo for this Thompson, he's just gonna throw it at the dude.
Ooh, okay.
It doesn't do anything. It's just fuck it.
No, it's a heavy gun, so it just like bangs against the body, which like splats down. Isaac, let's have you roll, or not Isaac, Big Jack. Let's use the shotgun.
Yeah, that is what you want to do.
Yeah, no, I'll follow up. I was going to kind of have, now that it's off, I'll do a combo if possible.
Okay.
I was thinking of possibly doing like a walking forward, like sort of hobbling as I'm firing these off at it, trying to keep it down, you know, as I get close to it, and then say, "Darby, now's when I need you," and take my good leg and energy blast stomp him.
Oh.
Ooh, okay. So you're using this as the Darby's power,
Yeah.
kind of mixed with yours. All right, well, let's spend the energy token. And then maybe give me a brawn roll.
All right. Come on, bro. Oh, jeez. 9. I'm on a D20, so that's why I'm like kind of like upset.
Okay.
9 is 9.
I think a 9's okay for this. He's not. I mean, he's pretty hurt. Yeah, the energy blast just like sears in, burns his midsection. Are you like stomping on what's left of his head?
Pretty much. That's what I was doing. Just like trying to keep him down, walking up to him slowly, just like pumping the rounds off, whatever Isaac left for me. And then sort of the final, if I can get a coup de grace in there.
Yeah, so the trench gun blasts like huge chunks into him. He's super dead. His mortal frame is just like shattered. The Abraxas goo starts spilling out of him in this kind of weird, this puddle just oozing out of all the wounds you've cut in him, and the body is just like laying there totally destroyed. The Abraxas goo starts, unfortunately, it's heading towards Brian.
All right, so that's what I was like, Des, Brian, do your thing.
Okay,
and
Brian
already rolled his dominating roll.
Yeah.
That wasn't max though, which is sad.
No, I think it's okay, Brian. I think so. As it reaches you, you can you have the eye.
Mm-hmm.
It opens up and looks at you, and for a moment, you and Abraxas, you get to stare into Abraxas's mind. Not a good place to be. I'm gonna have you roll grit. I know Brian's sanity isn't that great in the best of times.
His sanity's gone down since he was a kid. Total of 7.
Okay. I think that's not so bad. I was thinking this was gonna be like a 5 or 5 or so would be a failure. 5 or below would be a failure.
With a
D8, 7, so. Yeah, a 7, you're able to hold it. You keep your sanity. You are forcing your will onto Abraxas. Do you what do you tell him to do in this moment? You can feel this malign. I mean, malign's the wrong word. Totally alien consciousness that you can sort of bend to your will, but also it's bending you to its will.
Mm-hmm.
But for the moment, you have the upper hand.
So I think while I've got like semi-control, just be like, just get the fuck out of here, and just try and like send it back to where it was.
Okay, the eye explodes in your hands. Your hand. You don't take damage from the shards, but they do like whistle past you a few kind of graze you. Definitely getting some cuts. And the giant changing shape above you just blinks out and vanishes. And then the Abraxas goo, like it reached your shoe, and it hardens like hot tar or hot asphalt used to repair a street. So just before it could reach your foot, it stops and freezes up. And then, for a moment, except for the cry of gulls, place is quiet.
It serves you right, you daft idiot.
Congratulations, Brian, you did it.
Hey.
Jolly good show. I bet this island's about to sink now, though.
I'm sure
Yeah,
it is.
you can see the ocean is starting to come back and reclaim it, so definitely time to leave.
Yeah, I should have expected that. Let's run.
Well, this is where a wheelchair comes in kind of handy, because she can just put it up to the edge of the temple and go.
A good point.
I'll
You roll your way
up
down.
for you.
I actually had an idea. Is there anything left of Darby? Like his mind or anything?
Oh, there isn't.
Did we use up all of his powers? I thought we still had one slot left.
There is one left, but he's not really revealing himself to you just now. That took a lot out of him. So he might come back a final time. In a little bit.
Wait, is it Darby or Dally?
Dally.
Oh, Dally, yeah.
Yeah,
What's
Dally's
just
the
Dally,
bad
I think it's
guy. There's his like totally blasted, destroyed corpse.
yeah, I wanted to see if he was still alive because I had one last thing I could have done. since we
No,
have-
you like close range shot his head with the Thompson. Like he's not. You can't survive that.
No, but I had this whole thing that I would have used telepathy to fuck with his mind. Like, flash forward to 2050, the U.S. Census comes in. White people are the minority.
Oh man. That would definitely. Maybe you could say Darby threw that psychic message at him in the moment before the bullets tore through his brain. Just to rub it in. I like that.
As Desi's going down the pyramid, she's like, I'm sorry I lied about being part Jewish, but it seemed like a really hardcore thing to say to a Nazi.
All right. So you make it back to the seaplane, make it back to River Maw. Even as you get there, the sky is clearing up. And Ryan, we're going to do a few closing scenes. I think we'll kind of start with you. You arrive on the dock, and Connor and the family is waiting for you, and they all embrace you. And Connor says, my big brother, you've been through so much, and you've kept yourself apart. I want to ask you, I want you to come live in Boston with me and the family here.
You sure you want me, my daft mind as it is?
There's nothing daft about you. And there's nothing I want more than to be with my brother.
Well, it could be an interesting life with the nieces and nephew. Crazy little tykes.
Well, you get to be crazy Uncle Brian for them. But not so.
Good thing
crazy.
I'm not crazier. That Abraxas is something. Barely keep my mind.
And then Desi, Delia meets with you on the dock there. And she says, sister mine, there's nothing like getting abducted outside an opium den to make you take stock of things.
One should hope.
Yes, I was thinking, could I stay with you for a spell?
Well, in the penthouse. I suppose. We were planning to go to Paris, and there are lovely facilities there for helping one quit the dragon cold turkey.
I have to take the cure.
Well, obviously, if you want to rejoin high society, you can't be high. At least not that high.
Well, all right. I'll find a sanitarium. But only
Well,
if
I
you
can find one for you, sister, and I don't mind paying for it.
Thank you.
I suppose I'm never going to really find out the mystery of father, though. Oh well. What are you going to do?
Oh, she's like, I wouldn't say that. You're young yet. You have your whole life ahead of you to find it.
Yes, well, it'll be a few years.
And then I'm going to cut ahead a little bit. After you return to Hallett Hollow, Isaac, you receive an invitation from Dominic Dupree to meet her at Queenie's, her speakeasy in the Shallows.
Mm-hmm.
And when you arrive, it's business as usual, kind of a Saturday night, the crowds there. The repeal of prohibition is still a few years off, so speakeasy's doing a roaring trade. And she meets you at the bar, pours you a drink, and says, Isaac, back from another battle, yes?
Just one more, and it's never going to end, is it? There's got to be some way we can make a more permanent change to all this.
Well, I don't know about permanent. But if you want to fight a war, maybe I've got one for you. Do you want to come and work for me?
I thought I already was.
Well, maybe in a more permanent basis.
Just depends on what the job is.
All right. And then finally, Big Jack, where do you hang your hat? Where do you like to relax when the work day is over?
I think after this one, Big Jack is going to head back to town and finally go talk to a certain someone that he's been meaning to for some time, but just always been afraid to settle down with. Realizing that for the second time in his life, at least, that life has flashed before his eyes. If it wasn't for the group of friends that he has, he probably wouldn't be here. So he's going to try to do his best to settle down if he can. In the meantime, he's also going to work pretty heavily with Des and making sure that as many people are given access that are physically handicapped or anything like that, physically disabled, so that there is betterment for the future for that. And
good point.
And also sort of make his mark with mechanics when it comes to that as well. Kind of work on some things. Still keeping up with the shop. So, down the street, you'll find Rabbits is on the corner. And you can always bring your automobile in to get the finest work possible.
Get a quick repair. All right. Well, Rabbits, I would say one of those days, a little bit after the events in Rivermaw, you're in the shop, maybe doing a little work on a vehicle of some kind, when you hear a familiar voice singing a song. And it is Darby.
Well, I'll be.
And he's like, "Hello there, Rabbits. I want to tell you something.
Shoot,
I
kid.
think this whole being a ghost, it's been a laugh. It's been a good laugh, but it's getting a little old, which is ironic because I'm not getting any older.
Understood.
I've been 11 for, gosh, maybe 20 years or more now. It's fun, but it wears you out. I think this last little romp is going to be my last. I'm going to see what comes after."
Now, Darby, I can't say that I have an understanding of what you can experience and see, but do you know where you'll go? Do you know if I'll ever or you again?
I'd rather think you won't, and as to where, I've got no idea. Scares me almost as much as the Earl King, but I think it's time. Just have one request. Say so long to the old gang for me, and maybe visit me in Hallowed Hollow in the cemetery now and then. Go ahead and give my tombstone a pat.
That's the least I can do, Darby. And I'll make sure that it's one that would be noticed.
All right, Rabbits. Sometime, I'm sure, I'll see you.
So Rabbits also makes a special designed vehicle called, it's nicknamed the Darby. It's a Shelby Cobra. It's small, super fast, super agile, and gets to anywhere sort of in a blink of an eye.
Okay, I will have to be using this in the future, I'm sure. Okay, so we are nearing the end. I think Desi hit her hand up, and I do want to kind of check around and see what is happening to these characters in the future. I think Big Jack gave a pretty good analysis of what's going on with his character, but Desi, go ahead.
Well, I was kind of hoping that with that scene that Desi's also dead at that point.
Oh, okay.
Because I thought
Yeah,
there could
that's
be
fair.
kind
It
of
can
a
be- it
funny
can be
button
2 years
on it, but I
after.
don't want to step on it either.
Mhm.
What if we had them in the same cemetery?
Well, I was just thinking it would be funny if her ghost showed up at the end of that scene, but I don't want to interfere with it.
I sort of like that, but I mean,
Okay.
would Desi like Darby's ghost is because he kind of died so roughly. Like I would hope Desi dies at peace and her spirit doesn't wander around like
No,
afterwards.
I think she went back to encourage Darby that it's time to move on. I think that's like her last thing she does when she dies.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that.
Okay. So what I was thinking is at the end of the scene, like Desdemona, like, and she looks like 11-year-old version of Desdemona because that's really the
Ooh,
version
yes,
that
I
Darby
love
knew
that.
the best.
Mhm.
Like sticks her head through the door and goes, "Darby, have you said goodbye already? Come on, we have to go to the next great adventure." Oh, that's who you're saying goodbye to. Well, goodbye.
I love that. Oh, that's so good.
That's the amount of goodbye that she gives to Big Jack. But on the other hand, Big Jack later finds out that she endowed a quarter of her estate to him.
Wow.
And it's to my own personal dog's body. Much love.
No, I love that Desi, like, so because that makes sense. That, like, she wouldn't be, her ghost wouldn't be wandering around haunting people, but she would, like, inspire Darby to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just thought that might be like a cute little ending thing.
That's the perfect ending.
Okay.
All right, so we'll check in. I think, Brian, you were saying your character, he hangs around with in Boston with becomes a bigger part of his brother's family.
Yeah, if there's any sort of like expeditions that Connor takes up, he'll tag along, help with any research, that kind of a thing. He definitely becomes a lot more of a researcher in his later years, and so it's a little bit like expands his field of vision in a way.
Okay. And then Isaac, do you like stick around and become a hitman?
That's what the job was.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like enforcer, hitman. It's all sorts of stuff. For her growing organization.
All right. I'll go to Madame Dupree and tell her, sure, I'll work for you on 2 conditions. One, we only kill people that actually deserve it. I don't want a repeat of the first war.
She's like, well, in a world like ours, it shouldn't be too hard to find people who deserve it. What's your second condition?
Well, you've seen everything that's happening. I have a feeling that a movement's going to start pretty soon. I say we get a head start. Be part of it.
I'm not one for political aspirations. But if you find something, maybe I can throw my weight behind it.
That's all I ask. Now, let's get back to shooting racists in the face.
All right, and I think with that great line... Ooh, all right, yeah, thank you, Dallas. I think with that great line, we'll bring this episode and this 2-part arc to a close.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This was awesome. So a lot is going on and behind the scenes kind of things with chat and some people that were watching. So thank you so much for putting this second arc together, Michael. This has been phenomenal. And you guys as storytellers, it's amazing. So yeah, I just want to go down a quick, there was a thought that came up in the chat twice. A kind of a want to see maybe some of these characters as pensioners here at some time. That's just a thought that was repeated twice. So I was like, oh, I should probably bring that up just in case.
But hella dead.
But not Desi, of course. But
right,
but the others could definitely happen.
How that works with it. But we want to make sure that we give shout outs because we had a couple raids tonight on our Twitch channel. So if you're watching us on Twitch, we did get a couple of raids, and that was amazing. So thank you so much, Party White Games and Marine of One. Thank you so much for the raids.
Thanks for the raid, guys.
Yeah, showed some people what we're doing over here on Tuesdays, and that we've been doing this for years, and we love putting this out into the universe. So, and make sure and give a shout out to 4 new followers tonight. We had Gizmo Arts, Dark Dramer, Izzy Beth, and the Nat 30s. So thank you so much. I love
thanks,
people's
guys.
creative names.
Awesome.
Love the names.
I really
And if everybody's still in the chat, thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks
thank you
for
for
hanging out with
watching.
us. If you're totally confused on what we're doing, like I said, make sure earlier before the stream is make sure and just check out our full collections on YouTube. And a lot of our collections are here also on Twitch since you're new Twitch followers. But we do have a quite long library of games and stuff. But this one is specifically, if you want to catch up on kind of what's going on with the Kids on Bikes, with Strange Generations, just go to our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/time-to-tabletop. And you'll get to catch up on these episodes. I put these episodes on there pretty quickly within a day or two after we broadcast, just so it's for pure entertainment. You don't have to be a subscriber. You don't have to do anything. Just we want that entertainment given to you guys. So thanks again. I think if I'm not mistaken, we're taking next Tuesday off, right?
Yes. Next week, take a week off while I create the setting
The next
and the
setting for
story
next
for
arc.
the next arc, which I think this would be a great jumping on point because it'll be new characters as kids, a whole new setting, and a new time period. We're jumping ahead to the 1950s.
I'm gonna be personality-wise the opposite of this character.
Yeah, it should be very interesting to see where this all derives and where it goes
I
to.
think it's really cute what Dallas was going to name the car, and I feel bad that the audience isn't going to get to know.
Oh yeah, we can go ahead and mention it as well as what you
just
were
say
saying.
no.
Oh, I feel like it would come into play maybe sometime. The cars don't go away.
Dallas, say the name of the car. It's so cute.
I mean, to honor Darby, giving him the title of the Spectre, I thought was pretty cool.
So,
Thank you,
the
though.
Spectre.
Yeah.
And
I saw that.
Kat, can you share your idea too? Because that was also really good.
Sure. So for those of you that didn't watch in the beginning, the Earl King had this whole legend of chasing children forever through the stars. And they're
the Wild
always
Hunt.
terrified, and called the Wild Hunt. And Darby was terrified of it. And I just thought it'd be cute if the legend gets replaced with this story about 2 kids playing tag in the stars forever, which is Darby and Desdemona.
Oh, cool. I get it.
Like, I just thought that'd be like a really cute kind of button to that, like a real Spielberg kind of thing, you know?
Totally.
Yeah.
Aw, everything
That's
turned out so
adorable.
sweet. There was a couple times where things got morbid, and then I was like, oh, but this really sweet.
I
Like-
wanted to like kind of push that line with Desi where it's like, yeah, it could be really morbid and really sad, but she just refuses to let it be that way.
No, it was really nice. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you guys for putting that together. And thanks for everybody that watched, all of our new watchers, all of our new streamers, and thanks for the raids. That was really, really nice of you guys. So we'll take a week off, but we got 2 weeks. So you make sure at home you can pull up a chair and make time
to
tabletop. Man, we're getting so good at this. All right, guys.
Better, it's their slogan.
Peace out.
Come back for the 50s, Daddy-O. Cats and kittens.
Adios.
She'll be dig it.
Dig it.